Hey everybody, it's the Doctor here with Typical Manga Fan, and in this episode with the Typical Manga Review, we'll be discussing Bleach 623 against the Judgement. And before we start, I'm beginning to wonder if Kubo is somehow channeling his fans' feelings into these chapter titles. Because a while back we had Dirty, last week we had The Agony, and now we have Against the Judgement, which is pretty much what most people reading this manga are doing at this point, reading it against their better judgment.
It's another way of trolling us. He's trolling us in every way, even the chapter titles. It's like his. I think this is his paycheck. I think he doesn't even get paid money anymore. I think this is what he gets paid in.
Right, and we open up with the barrier around Seirate, the Vandente, or whatever what you called it before, being blasted by Aizen, and you can clearly see the chair in there.
You don't see the Ryatsu.
Yep. Renji's like, "Shoot down the royal palace, you say?"
Yeah, and then that's just you see that I don't know, it's just ridiculous at this point. And then everyone's just being surprised and shocked. And then Kyoraku grabs Rukia's shoulder, I guess, to calm her down,
like to keep her from attacking too early.
Yeah, I think because it seems like she's about to attack him, which is like why,
Well, I mean, for defense, I guess. There's something. He's doing something.
Well, I mean, I thought he was because at this point I thought Aizen was helping everyone, so it was like, why are you trying to stop him?
Well, I think he's just showing off at this point, but then the reality just seems like disperse or get scattered or no longer works.
Yeah, which is actually really funny because he gives us an expression I never thought I'd see.
Like, well, how about that?
It's shocking because he the only time he's ever done this expression was against Ichigo's Deus Ex Machina form. So
like his ultimate.
If I don't get to guess,
thank you.
Which is just this Deus Ex Machina form. Douche.
Of course. in this case, though, I will give some points for at least foreshadowing what they're about to explain. The whole, because remember, like when they were first releasing Aizen and putting him in the chair, he blew the guy's hand off or fingers off.
Yeah. It's
because his Ryatsu is so close was kept so close to it by his bindings. That's pretty much what Kyoraku goes on to explain here. That the bindings on him don't serve to extinguish his power, but they do rein it in close to him, and it's that power to restrain is insurmountably strong, and it's like pretty much the top of their technological skill.
Pretty much, yeah.
I think go ahead.
I think Kurosuchi is the one who helped with that, right?
Yeah,
he knows a lot about it.
At this point, he gives the floor to Kurosuchi, who spends a couple of pages going into even more in depth on it. Pretty much pointing out that a Soul Reaper Shinigami's Ryatsu does not stop for as long as their heart beats. Like, pretty much does not stop until they die. And for some reason, the criminals that they have in Muken, like where Aizen was, are pretty much unkillable. Like, they have no way to actually kill them, so they just stick them in there and just let the restraints do the rest.
Yeah, actually, I feel like this is foreshadowing Ichigo, because Ichigo's Ryatsu has always been a big deal. So maybe this is one where it also explains how he got his powers back. Remember, he was able to get his powers back through the case to the situation in which his Ryatsu didn't actually disappear completely.
Right.
Maybe it is another way they can apply that in the future chapters. Who knows? I'm thinking. I'm overthinking this, obviously, because it's Kubo. But
yeah. And then Kurosuchi pretty much is like starts to troll Aizen now, which is glorious.
Well, Kurosuchi actually does troll quite often, even more so than any other captain.
Yeah, but still, seeing him do it to Aizen though, it's pretty much like, I bet you thought your raw power exceeded my technological skill, so you were free to use it however you wished. Naive you are, Aizen Sosuke.
Actually, that's the way the Japanese talk. You know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's how the grammar works in a way.
Yeah. I'm
not as familiar on the detailed grammar structure, but I remember I read a little bit about it once upon a time, so I know a tiny bit.
Yeah. And then he says, whether you can actually shoot the soul palace down or not, it doesn't matter. But it would be a harsh blow to my dignity and honor if you actually were able to do so. Oh, and yeah, I was right. So he did create those bindings.
Yeah. And then Aizen pretty much goes on to say, so you're altering the degree of restraint of that trinket. How about you tweak it to the maximum degree possible? Then we'll see which is superior. And then he gets attacked.
Again, this is an amazing thing because Aizen gets interrupted, which is something that doesn't happen because he always senses when someone's about to come. So the fact he couldn't sense this guy really just is also surprising. Not to mention that he's giving another shock face, and someone's actually using a technique on him that actually works.
Yep.
It's like, wow, they're actually taking away my expectations for Aizen. Like, they're lowering it, which is amazing. I guess it's
lowering expectations is one thing Kubo is good at.
Sorry?
Lowering expectations is one thing Kubo is good at.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Here's the thing though. As much as I would like to say the writing gets bad when Aizen just walks through everyone, it's at the very least entertaining.
Yeah.
So yeah, we avoid the situation where Aizen just is the Deus Ex Machina himself, but at the same time though we also lose that really it's so bad it's good entertainment value.
Yeah, true.
In this case, yeah, it is because I mean as much as I would laugh if Aizen just walked and killed like 10 Quincy's at once and like eliminate the whole point of like the past 100 chapters, it'd be hella funny and hella fun to watch.
Yeah, that's true. But and right now, like the one who's actually shot Aizen, who's using his power on him, is one of the Stern Ritters, letter U, the Underbelly, Nanana Najakoop. And question: does he have like malformed teeth, or are his teeth just alternate between black and white?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, does he have piano teeth or not enough teeth?
I really you are I don't know, and I think we're gonna find out when the anime gets out. I'm not even say if when the anime gets out because Bleach is too popular. Well, it's too well known for it to not have.
You'll probably see like an OVA at some point to finish off the Vandenreich arc.
I don't say OVA
or some last season.
It's gonna be like final act. It's gonna have another season.
Yeah, what they can at this point, what they'll probably do is like they'll kind of do it Kai style. They don't have to worry about as much filler this time around, since they'll probably wait for it to finish off first.
Yeah, but Kai's not an OVA. It's an actual season.
Well, like, yeah, I mean, I understand. Yeah.
Actually, it's a new series. It's not even a season. It's a new series.
But I mean, I just mean like in the sense that they'll be able to burn through it without having to worry about filler and such.
Yeah. Which is what they're waiting for, obviously.
Their own filler.
Yeah. But well, I mean, there's no. Yeah. But yeah, this is obviously what they're waiting for, and they might actually quicken it if they, if they feel like they need to.
Yeah,
but
they could.
Like
they've done that before. They're like, well, not Bleach, but like for example, the first season of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, like it's 26 episodes, but it covers like the first 2 full story arcs of the series. And like I know like the first couple episodes like rush through a lot of stuff that's built up more in the manga. They take more time on it.
Which okay, so going back to no, whatever his name is, Najaku.
No, Quincy. All right, go ahead.
Okay, well, how did I understand how some of the other Quincy survived, but how did he survive? Because wasn't he literally within the blast? He was actually unconscious, so he couldn't move.
I hadn't really thought about that. I mean, I figured some survived. I don't remember seeing this guy one or the other one at all at the time, so I don't know.
I saw him. He was unconscious because he got beaten down by Byakuya,
okay.
and the girls avoided it because they basically dodged it.
Right.
But then Colonel Sanders, the Stoner N, the guy with the mustache, died. Obviously, he turned into a skeleton.
Yeah.
But this guy wasn't moving. He was unconscious, so there was no way he could have dodged unless they saved him, which is bullshit because Quincy's don't give a shit.
Yeah,
they don't care about each other.
They don't save each other.
It just also kind of shows you that.
Some of them killed each other
for fun.
I mean, one of them ate the fat guy.
Yeah, but you know what's annoying me about the Stoner is that it's obviously they have this disharmony, but no one's taking advantage of it until as of late. But like originally, I was like, this is actually maybe one of the weaknesses that they don't work together.
Mm-hmm.
Like but whatever. So anyway, so he's like, maybe it's because of that black outfit you're wearing, but your Ryatsu is full of holes. So basically, he can make Aizen immobile. And I can't believe it is, but he basically paralyzes Aizen.
Yeah, but he remarks right afterwards that Aizen's not even unconscious, so it's like he's monstrously powerful regardless.
Doesn't matter. Look at that again. The expression on Aizen's face. You don't see that. That like, what's happening here? And
it does make you wonder what'll happen when he inevitably gets free of his restraints.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I will say this though. I guess they actually make Aizen like not OP, which is actually a good thing. But at the same time, right. It's just this expression is like it's just so new. Like I wish they had done it more when he was actually the villain, like the main villain, because then you could actually believe this stuff. But now when it's happening, it's just like it's good because in a way it's good because it shows you that he's not all powerful. But at the same time though, it just feels wrong because it's never happened before, really, not much at least. Not including the Ichigo fight, of course.
Yeah.
Actually, I think before the Ichigo thing, it never happened at all. So
closest we might have got when Gin stabbed him,
or when Yamamoto self-exploded.
Yeah. And then, like I said, Nanana goes on that these Aizen's paralyzed and can't even move, and we got a problem with you shooting down the Royal Palace. That'd be bad. So just sit still and enjoy the show, why don't you?
And then you see the Glutton Girl, the Zombie Girl, and Bazby basically.
Yep. I'm kind of glad to see the zombie girl. She was my favorite. I liked her.
She disturbs me.
That might be part of why I like her.
Or
she has just this expression. Yeah, or he. Either way, she goes by C, so whatever.
Well, I have rules when it comes to that, but basically, what it comes down to is, the gate has to be brought back, which actually brings back to your little complaint of what the hell, what's the point of the gate?
Yep.
And they say, well, even though we're back to square one, we're gonna make the gate again, basically.
Yeah. Which means that they have been rendered absolutely pointless, but not as pointless as they might have been otherwise.
I want you to read the little note, the headline at the side. What does it say?
Everything is slowly set in motion.
Keyword, slowly.
Yes. Contradictory word, in motion.
Well, not really. It's contradictory, just not the word I would use. It's like, well, it's slow motion, still motion. I mean, it's slow motion.
Yeah.
It can be slow, but still be moving.
Incidentally, this week's Arlong Park name for the thread, like their Bleach thread, they changed it every week for the chapter, is Get On With It.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, this is... And Karage's like, oh, wow, this is an interesting turn of events.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, though, that if Zombie Girl's like... You know how she probably could have made herself a girl? Mm-hmm. She probably stole body parts of actual females and then, like, replaced her male parts. Which is kind of disturbing.
That's assuming she's not just cross-dressing.
That's, like, cross-dressing at an extreme level. But
this is anime. It happens.
Yeah. But based on my rules, and basically, that would make her a girl. Like, I have very strict rules when it comes to defining, who's a guy and who's a girl. But if she actually replaced the body parts, then I guess that's a girl. But whatever.
Having gone through Horo, Musuko, Wandering Sun, I pretty much just say whatever they identify as, I go with it.
Yeah, but then that makes a separate contradiction that I won't go into here.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to call her she unless something specifically says otherwise, though.
Yeah, I just think it's too subjective. But yeah.
That's why I do it that way. It's simpler that way. Don't worry about it. Anywho,
zombie girl. It's just zombie. Yeah. Zombies don't have gender. They're zombies. They're just zombie gender.
There you go. Anyway, I see. He calls Urahara to go and get focused on getting your gate ready. He's gonna take care of things out there.
Yep. And so is there gonna be a fight? Well, we see that the zombie guys are still around there, and it doesn't really matter though because these guys are fodder regardless.
Yeah, and Kurosuchi's like, I must say I'm quite perplexed that you're not dead, zombie girl. Guess this goes to show that the zombie puppet master is a zombie herself, huh? And she just makes a face at him.
Of course she's not dead. I mean, honestly, who would have expected that?
Well, we did see her dot, so we're not really expecting it just from that alone, but I do like the fact that she actually makes a face at him.
Yeah. And also the fact that she was eating Bambita, which is kind of disturbing.
Yeah. Well, didn't she zombify her?
Zombified her, then ate her.
Ah, okay. Probably to heal herself.
Yeah, it was, but it was still disturbing to watch, to read. Well, to read and, read.
Yeah, and Kirok is like, it seems we're in consensus with the whole we've got a problem with you shooting down the Royal Palace ordeal. Is there a possibility you came to join forces with us?
Oh, so they did actually have a problem with shooting down the Royal Palace. Because I guess they wouldn't probably survive that, but whatever.
Well, plus it's almost like sacrilege for them, probably.
Yeah.
And then, like, Nanana's like, you must be as dumb as you look. I mean, we got a problem with the Royal Palace getting shot down because His Majesty is there right now. Yeah, makes sense. Because that means the only way to resolve this is with fisticuffs, as he draws his sword.
And then he's like, I've preserved you all, blah, 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 gets killed. Yeah. By Basby from behind, which, again, is another team-killing F-tard. They're all team-killing F-tards!
Yeah. Of course, in this case, though, they're team-killing because they're no longer on that team.
Yeah. But it's really...
that was rather unexpected.
Yeah, so he says, you're going to help you, and the other two are obviously with him. And he says, the Vandenrag lies within Serte's shadow. If the Royal Palace falls, we'll basically be destroyed as well. And, Kuroshi's like, why would we believe you? And he's like, you don't have to believe me, and I do say we want something in return. We will help you make the gate. In return, you'll take us to the Royal Palace with you. We're going to destroy Uwalk, the man that's... This is not really something in return. This is still in Soul Society's favor, regardless. They still want to kill Uwalk,
at the very least, their motives are aligned.
Yeah, so it's like, oh my gosh, dude, the clothing is just so Nazi. But the fact that it's kind of glorified, in some ways sexualized, especially when you have it on the girls, it really disturbs me.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if that's the point, or if he actually wants me to get like aroused by that, which I'm not. Stupid. That's not fan service. Honestly, a lot of people think not. Nazi uniforms are never meant to, should never be meant to be fan service, and I don't care.
I wouldn't call it fan service in general, just because, like, I mean, they're fully covered. It's not really being sexualized, at least here.
Not specifically in this case. I'm talking about, like, in general. In Japanese culture, Nazis' uniforms have been sexualized, and it's really weird.
That could be partially just a cultural thing. Like, for example, the Nazi atrocities might not didn't hit Japan as hard as it did us. Plus, they were allies during World War II. So that probably is, like, factoring into, at least to some degree. Yeah,
but it's just kind of like, wow. You know? Wow. And so, yeah, they basically saying, we're going to destroy Yubok, the man who has forsaken us. Yep. And the headline is defection. Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Okay, so the first thing I will say about this is, I guess we talked about this off record, but I'll get it on record now. Mm-hmm. So, my issue with the betrayal thing is not that it's actually happening, but the fact that it's the fact that they reviewed this guy as a god versus Aizen, basically
where like the Arrancar basically like we'll lead you as long as you're strong enough to lead us.
Yeah. The Espada, the relationship with Aizen and the Espada were interesting because they actually hated him. Many of them actually did, not all of them, but many of them did, and they only followed him because they had this all about the strongest surviving, and it just happened to fit with their philosophy that they had to follow him. But if they had a chance, they'd kill him like the freaking mafia. Yeah. But then with the Quincy's, it was so bland because they just treat him as this god. They would revere him, and it was really bland. It was really annoying, and I was kind of sick of it. Especially when it's with the guy who would kill you for succeeding in your mission. Specifically, the Arrancar, some of the Arancars he was using, and Lloyd. Or is it with Royd? I forgot which one. I think it was Lloyd.
So
Lloyd,
the one that imitates him, people?
There was two of them, Royd and Lloyd, but Lloyd was the one who imitated Yubok, and he killed Lloyd for basically succeeding in his mission. I mean, he was dying, but I mean that was a way brutal way of killing someone. And Lloyd was happy about it, which kind of showed me, okay, these guys obviously revere him so much, probably because, like the Asnote flashback, they probably were going through some deep shit, and, Yubok gave them purpose. So I guess they're fine with being killed by him. Okay, I see that point. But then you got these guys who suddenly like, oh, we're turning against Aizen. I mean, we're turning against Yubok because he basically abandoned us to die, which makes no sense because you would think that the guy like Yubok would have done something like that. I mean, a lot of people in the comment section are pointing this out as well, where they're saying, how is it that at this point you still don't understand that Yubok has a really bad sense of morals? Because, and he doesn't even see you guys as like, as people, he sees you guys as extensions of himself who will one day, sooner or later, come back to him after they die. So like it just makes no sense, and they actually pointed out that the older Von Reichs, I guess, understood this, which is why Colonel
Sanders,
aka the Sterner to N, was knew what was happening to him as he was getting killed, whereas specifically the girls, but I guess Basby too, were younger, and therefore they were newer, and they didn't know about Yubok, I guess, as much, which is why they're probably shocked and surprised they would do this. But I didn't think they would betray him, because I just thought that at this point they should have known better.
Oddly enough, they just made me think of something here, like the Don Quixote family. Like, remember, like when I think it was like Law that described them, or someone who described them. Oh no, Corazon described them like this. Like, the top members know Doflamingo's real nature, but the younger ones are more idealized. Like, they don't fully get it.
Yeah, I would say that too. But the problem is Yubok, unlike Doflamingo, is showing it in such a to his own soldiers. He would kill his own soldiers for gills. Like Doflamingo killed his enemies, which made sense.
And he killed like lower ranked men if they failed or humiliated him. Like it was implied for a long time he did the Bellamy and may have done the Sarkis.
Yeah, the basic thing is they were villains and they did villain stuff, but you still saw that, okay, as long as we're in his good graces and as long as we don't go against him, and it makes sense that he's still good to us. But again, Yubok was the one thing that disturbed me about Yubok was he was the type of guy who would kill you even if you did everything perfectly. It was just like, wow, because he doesn't see death the same way. It's kind of like the Major from Hellsing Ultimate, where he didn't. There was a situation, I won't say who, but he didn't save a person because he saw death as something, as not something to be scared of. So when the person died, he just said "Auf Wiedersehen" and said, "I'll see you in Valhalla." Yeah. You know who I'm talking about, right?
I think I lost. I was checking something. I was hitting a link on there, so I think I may have lost the thread a bit there.
I'm talking about the Hellsing one. Yeah, I'll tell you later. But
Okay.
anyone who's watched Hellsing will know what I'm talking about. It's the one he says "Auf Wiedersehen" to after the really long scene in episode, whatever. And so yeah, here's the thing. This guy said, so when the Stern Rider betray each other, it's cool. But when Yewok betrays the Stern Rider in the same manner, it's not cool. Talk about a double standard. In fact, didn't Badly shoot down those 4 girls claiming to take their prey like 30 chapters ago? Now he's complaining about being betrayed. I swear, the Stern Raiders are their greatest enemies. Since the war, it feels like they started kill more of themselves than the Shinigamis who killed them.
Hang on a quick second here. Are these the manga stream comments or something else?
Manga stream comments.
Okay. I know, because I got distracted by the very first comment, which is basically a Aizen and Terra version of Pinky and the Brain.
Okay. But anyway,
we'll get to that in a minute here.
Yeah. And then this one guy responded to that by saying, look, the Stern Raiders have worshipped him like a god, and they trust him like their savior, but he was actually not loyal to them. I mean, like, but it's like, they found out that he was not really, like, he didn't care about them, basically. And he said, and the guy responds saying, the one who read the original quote, savior of the world, said, I understand that they revered him as a god, but why would they intentionally weaken their army by killing each other? If it's a dysfunctional army.
Yep. Yeah, I found those comments. I'm looking at them right now.
It's like, and so I just don't. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Like they made the tone. They made the.
Now, one guy here, Nijipotamus, does make a point here though. Like, when the Letter Stern Raider are killed, their power returns to Yewok, even though it was deliberately like. Rivalry and competition amongst the rank only strengthens his power when they kill each other or otherwise get killed.
I'm saying it makes sense from Yewok's point of view. That's why, but it just doesn't make sense from their point of view because I thought they were good for that because I know like Hashwell was good with that and so were the older members, but the newer members are like, oh, I didn't sign up for this bullshit. I will say this though, the thing is the thing I want to point out was that let's see what I don't know. I hope I didn't like forget what I was just about to say. Okay. I think the issue was that wow. I think I lost it.
Lost your train of thought.
Yeah. So you think about betrayal. Basby. Yeah. I think what I wanted to say was that okay, they were on. Yeah. Just you go out. You your turn. I'll come back when I think about it again.
Okay. Yeah, and it was like I said, I didn't go far down in the comments. I got distracted by the very first one that's on the screen there. It's like, their eyes and then the chair. Yes, eyes and then the chair. One is a genius, the other's a chair. They take over Serite while sitting all day. Their eyes and then the chair, 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 chair. It's like, hey, Chair, what are we going to do tomorrow night? The same thing we do every night, Aizen. Try to take over the Soul Society. And then it's like, try? Are you implying the Chair needs to try? Yeah.
Alright, I think what I was trying to get originally was that, speaking with Basby, like, it makes no sense. It does seem like a double standard that he would be fine. Okay, I think I was supposed to say that they were on. Okay, so it seemed like they set the impression that the Quincy's were on board with Yewok's way of thinking, right? Because it did seem like they were. It felt like they were in a way they were like, okay, I get that Yewok is stronger as each Stern Rider gets killed, so I'll just kill some for the hell of it, which kind of makes the point of why have them around in the first place. Well,
the idea, as I understood it, was whenever like. He gives some power to one of his
he gets the power, their power along with his own back. Yeah, I remember.
Right.
Now, yeah.
So there is a benefit to him in that case.
Yeah. And it also allows him to move because he couldn't move before. But yeah, so but it set off the impression that they were okay with that. So now suddenly these guys are like saying, no, we're not okay with that. It just doesn't sit right with me because no pun intended. Because it just seems inconsistent writing at that point, right? Because you're saying that all these Quincy's understood that, and now you're saying, oh, well, these Quincy's didn't because they were younger. But it's like, it seemed like they did because they were fine with killing each other. And yeah, I think that's pretty much what I was saying. Yeah. Anything else?
I think we're okay. And just like I said, I think the commenters kind of cover most of that there. But like I said, I think the way Ewok has it all set up, like, it makes sense that there would be so much competition or backstabbing within the Stern Ritter ranks because of that. So it makes sense that even, I think what set them off was that even if he would casually kill them on himself, like maybe on individuals, or if he thought they were useless or weren't useful anymore, the fact that he actually just killed every one of them, I think that was the thing for them. Like it makes them wonder, like your question, like what was the point of their being there in the first place if he's just
they were losing though. Like Yaka like beat like 5 of them.
Right.
So it still fit with they lost. So you about killing you would make sense. Not to mention you're not strong. You weren't strong enough to make my elite guard. So yeah, you in a way you failed in my expectations. You know. So it's still consistent with how it was originally, in the sense that if they didn't come up to his expectations, they would get killed, and they didn't. So I wasn't surprised when he killed them all. I was like, oh, I was expecting this to happen. It was when they were surprised. I'm like, no, you can't be surprised. There's no way you couldn't have seen this coming. Like you even admitted that this type of thinking was what kept everyone around. Well, I mean, what was going around with everyone. So
right.
It just, again, inconsistent writing, which is why the betrayal thing, although I was kind of expecting it, because I was like, at this point, we may
get a little detail next week about this. We might get some extra detail on here, so I may hold off final judgment. But yeah, at the moment, it does look like inconsistent writing in that regard, just because.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. Cause like it almost makes Bazby and them look like really self-centered. Like, I'm mad that he tried to betray me.
Yeah, because he betrayed everyone. He betrayed someone just right there in the same chapter. I mean, and here's the thing, like, it's just the annoying part about this is that, okay, so the reason why I predicted that it would betray him was simply because it was the formula has been used before with Pesce, Nell, and Don
Chaka,
whatever his name is. Yeah, Don Chaka. Yeah, they did it before. I'm like, hey, they might actually do the same thing with the Quincy's, but maybe not so successful because these guys are so damn devoted to him.
Those guys didn't really betray anyone. They were loyal to Nell, weren't they?
They were loyal to Nell, but by extension, they were loyal to Eisen. If you think about it, by extension.
Well, maybe, but I think it was like in their case, Nell came before Eisen.
Yeah, well, Nell. You know what I'm saying? Like Nell was still, she had no reason. She still could have won back her spot if she really wanted to, but she decided not to. Right.
Right. And they stuck by her because they were more loyal to her than to Eisen.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, I think they also developed relationship with Ryu and Renji. Yeah. Regardless of specifically who they were working for and if it was considered betrayal or not, it was basically people from the other side were working with you.
Yeah.
And I saw that, I was like, this is probably going to be used. Oh no, it's not. And then I saw it being used. I'm like, okay, so I saw this coming in a way. I just didn't think it would actually happen because it's kind of like it would be inconsistent writing, but again, that would mean that I would have too high of expectations of Kubo, because consistency in writing is a good thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Kubo surprised me yet again by how bad he can get.
Against the Judgment.
Against the Judgment. Okay. Bleach, you know me too well.
Yeah.
Or all of us too well. You know the ones who actually acknowledge what's wrong with Bleach too well. I don't know what the hell everyone else was thinking. All the fans. Yeah.
Well, I think there are fans who acknowledge the downsides, but probably either don't care because like us, they've been at it for so long, or maybe they see some pros that maybe we aren't, or see pros there that outweigh it in their minds.
Well, I did include the ones that did acknowledge it, but it's just like there are fans out there who get upset whenever you say something even remotely bad about Bleach, and who think Bleach is like 10 times better than One Piece or Naruto or anything that's ever been made out there. And that's at that point you're just like, no. I don't care if it's to each his own. You can't say Bleach is better than like this and that just because at a certain point it's like saying The Room is better than a Miyazaki movie. That just doesn't. That's not. You can't say that. It just doesn't make any sense to say that.
Nope, or not at all.
Or like Transformers is better than Shawshank Redemption. It's like I know one's more action oriented, but you know what I'm saying. Like there's one is obviously a better movie in its own right. Like duh. But yeah, so I think that's it, right?
Yeah, but I think we're good to go. Yeah, that has been our discussion of Bleach 623 Against the Judgment. We got to see some more action with the chair, some little bit of Aizen, some betrayal. Now we'll see what happens next week and see if they actually move anywhere. In the meantime,
probably not.
Let's see, there will probably be some explanation between the negotiation between the Stern Ritter and the Reapers at this point, but otherwise, don't know. We'll have to see. Take us away.
Bye!